Now at 6, we get an early inside look at Joplin's Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex now that it's finished. Plus, how a Joplin veteran is getting the recognition he deserves more than 50 years after his death in Vietnam. And we check out some Veterans Day celebrations across the area.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
After a year and a half of construction, people are getting a first-hand look at Joplin's new arts and entertainment venue. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. An opening reception is underway right now at the new Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. This is a live look at this invitation-only event for members, sponsors, and honored guests. More than 300 donors contributed to that project. Tomorrow, the complex opens to the general public for self-guided tours and refreshments. KOAM's Yana Hautala got an early tour of the complex and spoke with officials about the impact it could have for the 4 states.
After a year and a half of building, the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex is finished and ready to welcome visitors.
They will see the Beachshore Performance Hall, the Leggett and Platt Green, all of Spiva Center for the Arts' new galleries, the beautiful lobby space, welcome desk and gift shop, and they'll just see this beacon of the arts for Joplin.
Emily Frankowski says it took over a decade of passion and work to make it a reality. More than 300 donors contributed to the project. The crew is excited about the holiday season shows in the performance hall on the first floor.
We're looking forward to growing massively. I mean, we used to have 4 to 6 performances each year, and then we're growing that to over 16, so that's a huge jump.
Frankowski says they want to work with schools to allow students to attend previews for shows.
Some of those kids will never have that experience or will never have had it, so to be able to provide it for them free of charge and just have them not have to travel far away to a different state even to experience that is such a blessing.
In addition to local artwork, the Art Center will also display other pieces on the second floor.
We can bring in, national shows. We can look at the quality of the shows with the lighting systems and the humidity control. It allows us to bring really delicate art in that maybe we hadn't had the opportunity to do before in an older historic building.
The third floor includes classrooms.
Community partners and teachers that come in and teach our classes, both to elementary-aged kids and all the way up through adults, so anybody can participate.
The green space outside holds about 1,500 people.
We'll be able to bring in outdoor concerts. We'll have outdoor events out there. Our Out on Tap event, which is a very large event with home brewers, will just increase in size.
Having a complex like this in Joplin is beneficial for the area, as complex leaders hope to attract national artists to perform.
Oftentimes they're going from Kansas City maybe to Tulsa, and we're just right on the route. And so any opportunity for them to add more performances to where they're going just secures more income for them and fuels their passion of performing.
Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
The complex opens at noon tomorrow with a ballet performance. The ribbon cutting is going to happen at 12:20. You can find a link to the schedule of events on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's check in with Doug on this chilly evening.
Yeah, it's a good weekend to go check that out because it's going to be chilly all weekend, and it's chilly out there for us right now. We have some playoff high school football games. Look at this, mid to upper 30s to near 40. It's been windy. So, of course, this makes it feel colder than what it actually is. These northerly winds kind of ushering in at about 10 to 20. And then check this out. We even have some light little flurries popping up, especially along and south of the I-44 corridor. Not a huge deal, but we could get some that actually sticks to the ground in our far southern counties and then stretching into northwestern Arkansas. But most of this will stay south of I-44. The atmosphere is a little dry at the surface, and most of this will evaporate, but a few flurries, a quick little snow shower, not out of the question. So we're going to call this personal foul weather for football tonight because it's cold, it's windy, temperature sitting into the 30s. We have a system on Monday we need to keep our eyes on. We'll talk about that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. People all across the 4 states and our nation are honoring the heroes who've served our country on this Veterans Day. A Joplin veteran is now getting the recognition he deserves. In 1966, Lawrence McCrae was killed in action while serving in Vietnam, just a year after graduating from Joplin High School. More than 50 years later, it was discovered his name was not listed on Joplin's Vietnam Memorial with other local veterans. On Wednesday, it was finally added, and then today, McCrae's former classmates held a rededication ceremony at the memorial to honor his sacrifice.
Not a whole lot, just that he had graduated high school and that he had went off to join the Army, and he went to Vietnam right away, and he wasn't able to come back home.
You can view McCrae's dedication along with other local veterans at Joplin's Memorial Hall, 212 West 8th Street. Also in Joplin, Stapleton Elementary today hosted a Veterans Day Assembly. Students and staff prepared special music and recognition for local veterans who attended. That included patriotic songs, poems, and handmade cards given to veterans.
These kids are third grade, so they really don't know what it means to even be in the military. But it's neat. I'm glad the schools are doing stuff like this to help educate them as they come up, and by the time they're a little bit older, sixth grade, they really have an appreciation for what it means to be in the military.
After the assembly, veterans were able to speak with students about their service. In Pittsburgh, theater students at St. Mary's Colgan performed a tribute to veterans. After the program, they presented a quilt of valor to a veteran alumnus of the school. It was part of a project where students visited the Quilt of Valor Guild in Pittsburgh and learned about what the quilts mean before sewing one themselves.
That has always been a really special day for me. My father was in the Navy, and so I've always made a point as being a theater teacher to honor that day somehow with a program.
The students spent the last 4 weeks working on the quilt. In Parsons, Kansas, people gathered for a parade. Members of the parade included elementary school kids waving flags, the high school bands from Oswego, Labette, and Parsons, and of course, most importantly, most notably, local veterans. They were on decorated floats. Coming up, why a Southwest Missouri school decided to allow trained teachers to carry a weapon on campus, plus how Pitt State tight end Devin Garrison has been a big contributor to the Gorillas' undefeated season. The El Dorado Springs, Missouri School District is changing its security measures and will now allow trained teachers to carry a weapon on campus if their application is approved by the Board of Education. Reporter Laura Schwenkter has more.
Right now, the school has one resource officer roaming these halls, but now after tonight's vote, which was a 4-3 in favor, it will be adding in school protection officers, something some teachers wanted and others did not.
After the uptick in school shootings across America, the El Dorado Springs School District began discussing school protection officers in July and voted Thursday to allow them. The superintendent says it will allow any school faculty or administrative member to carry a weapon if their application is approved by the Board of Education and they go through proper training. 24 Missouri school districts use the program, according to the Department of Public Safety. It follows a 2014 state law that allows school districts to designate teachers or administrators who volunteer to carry concealed firearms.
I am definitely not okay with this. This isn't something that I really want to happen at all. My husband is actually a police officer, so I know how much training that they go through, and I just don't know how on earth a teacher or an administrator could go through that amount of training and still do their job.
Every vote that was cast tonight by our board was cast based on the belief of doing what was best and right for students. And some of those board members came down on one side of the fence and some of them came down on another side of the fence. But I'll tell you that every one of their hearts was in the right place when it comes to protecting and providing for student safety for our students.
The superintendent says that the training for school protection officers will be done by the Peacekeepers Training, which is located in Bolivar. Reporting in El Dorado Springs, I'm Lauren Schwenker.
The Department of Public Safety says 24 Missouri school districts use that program. A little bit later, the Missouri Southern Lions look to finish their regular season with a win tomorrow against Washburn.
Plus, it's getting cold for us tonight. Also, some rain and snow chances. We'll look at that coming up. Well, of course, a much colder day outside for us today. Temperatures, most of us highs only right around 40 degrees. Got some sunshine, middle of the day after showers, thunderstorms last night. About a half an inch of rain, which is good news. We're looking at our Lander Chevrolet Tower Cam southeast side of the city. So this is east and west bound traffic on I-44. We are dry, it's cold, it's windy. 33 Fort Scott, 37 in Miami, 35 in Neodesha is sitting at about 35 degrees. Everybody's going to drop off as we go through the overnight hours for us. Tonight, we have these northerly winds, which are kicking in at about 10 to 20, and gusts have been a little bit higher than that at times. So this makes it feel a little bit colder than what it actually is. If you are heading out to some playoff games, 4-state Friday night football, we're going to call it personal foul weather because it's cold. It's windy. We're sitting into the 30s, a lot of clouds, could even get a few flurries spitting out there as we go through the evening hours, which you can see kind of popping up on the radar. So here's northeastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, kind of streaming right up into the Joplin area. Most of this is not reaching the ground. The lower levels of the atmosphere are very dry, but as it saturates a little bit, I think we'll get a few flurries in here and maybe even some light snow showers in our far southern counties. And you can see, look at this little band of snow just to the northwest of Oklahoma City. Most of this is going to stay to our south as this upper level wave passes by, but still, first time we've talked about a little bit of snow out there for this fall into the winter season. All right, here's 7:30 p.m. Some snow reaching the ground. Anderson, Bentonville, over toward Cassville. So we could see a dusting, maybe to a half an inch in our far southern counties. Everybody else, mainly just flurries. Clouds sticking around, clear out late, cold, lower 20s for overnight lows. As we go through the day tomorrow, we'll have partly sunny skies. Temperatures very similar to what we saw today. So high temps only right around 40, 41, 42 degrees. We get partly sunny skies by Sunday. We'll stop Sunday afternoon. A little bit better, upper 40s to near 50 for afternoon highs. Here's your day planner, 24 in the morning, 37 by noon, 38 by 5, high temp of 42. It's not going to be as windy as what we have seen throughout the daytime hours today. Then we start to focus on our next storm system. So we're going to jump into Monday. Here's Monday afternoon. Rain starts to increase. In the blue, this is snow. In the pink, kind of a rain-snow mix. And we need to watch this over the next few days because look at this. Our temperatures are in the mid-30s. Kind of a rain-snow mix Monday evening, switching all over to snow Monday night. If it can come down at a heavy enough clip, we will get some accumulation. So something we want to watch as we go through the weekend. 42 tomorrow, 50 on Sunday, overnight lows into the 20s. Rain increases late Monday, possibly over to snow by Tuesday morning. Wednesday and Thursday cold, little rain snow mix again next Friday. It's going to be a cold week. We are going to warm up prior to Thanksgiving though.
Okay, so no cold turkey. So
and then we crash.
Then we'll crash, of course. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, a big night of high school football playoff action across the area. And a junior tight end makes a big impact this fall for the Pitt State Gorillas. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Well, tonight is a busy night of high school football in the 4-state area. We have district championship games in Missouri, state quarterfinal games in Kansas, and round 1 playoff games in Oklahoma. Now in Carthage tonight, Tigers face COC rival Republic in the Class 5 District 6 championship game. Now, Carthage beat Republic by 30 in the regular season, but Republic has gotten kind of hot lately, beating Webb City last week for their 5th straight win. That one is at 7 o'clock. Seneca and Lamar also at home tonight for district championship games in Missouri. On the Kansas side, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Colgan all playing state quarterfinal games. Then there's this one. The undefeated Girard Trojans welcome in Holton tonight in the 3A state quarterfinals. That's also at 7. We'll have highlights and scores from all of these games right here tonight at 10. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas finish up the regular season tomorrow afternoon against Fort Hays State. Now with a win, the Gorillas would finish off an undefeated regular season and earn a home game to begin the Division II playoffs. For Pittsburgh State, tight end Devin Garrison really been a playmaker all year long. He caught 2 touchdown passes last week against Washburn, and right now he's actually the Gorillas' leading receiver. out of the tight end spot. He's racked up 518 yards and 5 touchdowns through 10 games.
That position certainly requires versatility, and we have some of that. And boy, when you can get that position involved in the passing game and in the running game, I just think it makes your offense that much better and that much harder to defend at times.
We have so many guys in our receiver room. You can almost count Devin as a receiver, but I mean, he has that, he does all the other stuff a normal tight end does, but when he comes on the field, teams make sure they know that he's on the field. They're always calling him out, 88's on the field, and that brings, focus to him, which we have a lot of guys on the field that can go make plays.
The Missouri Southern Lions are also at home tomorrow afternoon. The Lions finish up their season facing the Washburn Ichabods. The Southern is 4-6 heading into this one, trying to avoid ending the regular season on a 5-game losing streak. On the other side, Washburn is 6-4 and is the highest scoring offense in the MIAA. Here's Lions head coach Atiba Bradley on what he sees from the Ichabods.
Offensively, they've got some big playability with 2 receivers. I think the one is leading the conference in receptions and yards, and he's also a dynamic returner. And so they've got some big playability. Defense, not the biggest unit we've faced, but a unit that flies around. I mean, this is probably the smallest front, but one of the most athletic fronts. So they're a good football team.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 7-2 in the first 9 games of the season. Last week, they had to work for it, beating the Titans 20-17 in overtime. Now, this week, the Chiefs stay at home facing the Jacksonville Jaguars, like we do every Friday night. Right now, it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
This week, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars in the annual Salute to Service game. Every year, under the direction and creation of Assistant Equipment Manager Cale Kirby, special patches are worn by the coaches and players of the Chiefs. This year, the patch acknowledges the 50th anniversary of Operation Linebacker 1 and 2, the 1972 air mission in North Vietnam that took the life of Captain Robert Thomas, the father of former Chief and Pro Football Hall of Famer Derek Thomas. The patch is full of meaningful details. The flame of the 97th Bombardment Wing, Captain Thomas unit. The camouflage pattern on the patch matches the paint job of Charcoal 1. The B-52G Stratofortress, Captain Thomas co-piloted on his fateful mission. And of course, the number 58. An amazing patch on a special day on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Sunday's Chiefs-Jags game kicks off at noon right here on KOAM. The Chiefs, by the way, in that game are 9.5-point favorites. Now, that's a look at sports. Be sure to join us right back here tonight on KOAM News at 10 for high school football playoff highlights and scores. It's District Championship week in Missouri and state quarterfinal week in Kansas, plus round 1 playoff action in Oklahoma. And we're back after this.
On this Veterans Day and every day, we take time to honor a local veteran. Andrew Whiteley served in the U.S. Army from 1952 to 1961. The Carthage, Missouri native was stationed in Korea and received a Korean Service Medal and a United Nations Service Medal. We're proud to salute Andrew Whiteley, a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have local and national look at Veterans Day observances, also highlighting a veteran-owned business. Plus an update on some midterm elections as the voting continues. And new car prices finally starting to go down. Those stories, a lot more, coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. You go into a local football game, you're going to want to bundle up.
You are. Temperatures dropping all the way back into lower 20s later on tonight. Tomorrow, very similar to today, just not as windy. Sunday, 50. Little rain snow mix moving in late Monday.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.